What if the person who feels safest is quietly shaping how you see everything around you? Toxic charm doesn't feel dangerous at first. It feels warm, magnetic, almost impossible to resist. You lean closer, feeling seen, understood, and valued in a way that feels incredibly rare. But beneath that charm, something subtle begins shifting your perception without you noticing it. And by the time you sense it, you're already emotionally invested and deeply attached. It starts small: messages, attention, compliments, hitting exactly where you feel most vulnerable. Your brain reacts instantly, rewarding you for staying close to the person who makes you feel important. They say exactly what you need to hear in a way that feels perfectly timed and genuine. But quietly, control begins forming in ways that seem harmless and easy to accept. And without realizing it, you start adjusting yourself just to keep that feeling alive. You move closer, emotionally, even when part of you feels slightly uncomfortable inside. Their attention feels like light, pulling you in until you stop questioning anything. Small warning signs appear, but you ignore them because the connection feels too meaningful. Meanwhile, something darker grows beneath the surface, completely outside your awareness. You feel safe on the outside, but inside, something begins disconnecting slowly. Your brain links this person to reward, creating a loop you don't fully control. Every interaction releases dopamine, making their presence feel right, even when it isn't. Validation becomes addictive, and suddenly you need more just to feel stable again. At the same time, invisible chains begin forming, quietly binding your emotional reactions. You're pulled into a cycle, repeating patterns without understanding why it keeps happening. You begin idealizing them, focusing only on what matches your expectations and emotional needs. Their flaws disappear, hidden behind charm that feels real but is carefully maintained. And when inconsistencies appear, your mind works harder to explain them away. Your thoughts loop, trying to make sense of feelings that don't fully align anymore. You check your phone again and again, feeling uneasy when their attention suddenly changes. Mixed signals create confusion, making you chase clarity instead of stepping back. One moment feels warm, the next feels distant, and you don't know why. That contrast pulls you deeper, making you try harder to bring the connection back. Your emotions become unstable, rising and falling based entirely on them. You start thinking more, but the answers never feel clear or complete. Something feels different now, but you can't fully explain what changed. You see different versions of them, and you don't know which one is real. You notice the control, but it feels too subtle to fully accept. The illusion cracks slightly, and for a moment you start to question everything. You feel torn between what feels good and what no longer makes sense. The charm fades, just enough to create doubt, but not enough to break you free. Their shadow becomes visible, and suddenly something feels off. You try resisting, but the emotional pull still feels stronger than logic. Your clarity weakens as confusion slowly replaces certainty. And eventually, you feel exhausted without fully understanding why. You look at yourself and realize something has changed, but you can't define it. The emotional chains tighten, making it harder to separate yourself from them. You try to speak, but your voice feels weaker, like it doesn't matter anymore. You feel pulled in two directions, unsure whether to stay or finally leave. The pattern repeats, trapping you in something you can't escape easily. You reach outward, searching for clarity, but everything feels distant. You see others moving freely while you feel stuck inside something invisible. Your mind gets louder, overthinking everything until your intuition disappears. Their influence lingers, shaping how you interpret even your own emotions. You feel drained, like something has been slowly taking your energy away. You barely recognize yourself anymore, and that realization feels unsettling. Emotional pain builds quietly, hidden beneath everything you've been holding together. Darkness grows inside, making it harder to see clearly anymore. Then suddenly, a small moment of awareness breaks through the noise. And for the first time, you begin to see what's really happening. You pause and start observing instead of reacting automatically. You gently remove control, starting with the smallest pieces first. You step back emotionally, giving yourself space to think clearly again. You draw a boundary even if it feels uncomfortable at first. You break one chain, then another, regaining control slowly. Stability returns as you reconnect with your own thoughts again. The shadow weakens, losing power as your awareness grows stronger. You stop reacting instantly, choosing your responses with intention. Your mind clears, and suddenly you see patterns you missed before. You move forward without needing their validation to feel complete. The chains fall away, and you finally feel free again. Confidence returns, grounded in awareness, not emotional dependence. And for the first time, you feel fully in control of yourself. Now ask yourself, have you ever confused charm with something deeper than it really was? The truth becomes clear when you stop filtering your experience through emotion alone. Awareness begins the moment you stop ignoring patterns that once felt uncomfortable. Boundaries aren't rejection, they're protection for your clarity and identity. Change begins when you trust your perception over someone else's influence. Moving forward isn't forgetting, it's understanding and choosing differently next time. And once you see clearly, you stop being controlled by what once felt irresistible. If this helped you see things clearly, subscribe now and keep strengthening your awareness every day.